Hello everybody and welcome to the second day of ASL Season 14. It's Group B. This time around it's Heroes Group. We're going to be going into interviews in just a second, so let's get into it.
And once again we're back with the ASL Season 14 Round of 24 Group B, and she is MC Lee Hyun, and she is talking about the yesterday's game. Meanie and Best show some nice strategy and some nice comeback from Best's play with the Dark Templar drop and so on. And okay, so we're gonna be moving into the interview. So we are seeing the three players here. Hero, how are you doing? And you got eliminated in round of 8 in the last season, so you had to play the qualifier. And how did you feel when you were playing an ASL qualifier, since you haven't been playing it for a long time? And Hero said it was quite uncomfortable for him because he had to wake up in the morning to and also do the check-in and play the tournament. So it was kind of tough for him to wake up in the morning, but it did work out. So it did work out well for him to make it through. And what is your goal of this season? And he says, last season he had lots of pressure, he was thinking lots of stuff. Maybe that probably hold his skill, hold his performance, not playing well from last season, so he wants to let it down and kind of relax, and he just wants to play something chill. And how are you doing, GGaemo? And last season you showed us very good game against Snow in round of 24, but unfortunately you got eliminated in round of 16. But once again you made it back to ASL Season 14 group stage.
테란전이랑 토스전 좀 힘들더라고요. 그래서
Okay,
미들끼리
so
저전밖에 없는데 제주 좋게 이제 저전만 걸려가지고 예선 뚫은 것 같아요.
I didn't catch the question, but he's answering about the age problem, that he's getting old, that he's not feeling comfortable playing Zerg vs Terra matchup and Zerg vs Protoss matchup. But since it's a ZVZ matchup for the first game, he kind of feels great. When he grabbed the mouse today, when he was doing some warm-up, it kind of felt great for him. So he's having a good feeling, maybe having a good shot against Hero today.
그때는 윤철이가 좀 방심 많이 했던 것 같은데 이번에는 상대들이 방심할 선수들은 아닌 것 같아가지고 좀 힘들 것 같긴 한데 이제 준비 잘해왔으니까 잘할 생각입니다.
Is there any easy player in this group? And he says from previous season, he kind of thinks that Snow was kind of having or underestimating GGaemo's overall mechanic, and that probably helped GGaemo to beat Snow in that game. So once again you're back to the ASL group stage. Barracks, how do you feel? And Barracks says he still needs to improve. He still needs to improve, even though he made it into ASL Season 14 group stage. But he thinks, if he compares to his previous seasons of his skill and current skill, he thinks the current skill is much better than the previous season. And how did you prepare for the group stage? And Barracks says he did practice a lot and more than enough, so he's gonna be having some great performance today. And Shuttle is at home because his COVID test got positive. So unfortunately for him, that he's not able to come to the Africa Free Cup studio, so he'll be playing at home. And how do you feel today? So Shuttle says he doesn't feel great, but when he look at his group, This group is easy, so
오늘 좋다고
he's gonna be
깨모 선수,
making it into round of 16
제일
easily.
쉬운 상대가 아닌가.
김경모 선수
So when he was doing the warm-up, the easiest player that he will be
선수.
beating in this
무섭지
round of
않으세요?
24 group would be GGaemo.
손 많이 풀어봤자 깨모죠. 네.
또 같은 대학에서
So GGaemo is
활동하고
the
있는
easiest
조일장
player
선수도
to
경우에
beat
따라 또 만날 수가
in this round of
있습니다.
24, he says.
김경모 선수와 같은 적은데 김윤중 선수, 조일장 선수의 경기도 어떻게 좀 예상하실까요?
What do you think about your game against Hero?
목표는 또 같은 대학이기도 하고 둘이 같이
And
올라가는
Shuttle
목표이기
says,
때문에,
oh, of course, Shuttle and Hero, both of them are in same team, same school, CW,
김윤중 선수의
and
답변을 들으니까 현장에
he's
함께하고
saying
있는
that
듯한 현장감이 좀 느껴지는
they are
것
both
같습니다.
planning to make it out of this group together. He kind of doesn't. They don't want to. They don't want to meet either in a winners or losers match, so they kind of want to avoid each other.
바로 시즌 11 예선에서
So-
만났던 상대가 바로 김경모 선수였습니다. 당시 김경모 선수가 2대 0으로 승리를 거뒀어요.
네.
So it's a question to Hero Season 11.
남아 있을까요?
GGaemo beat Hero 2-0 that time. Do you remember? Do you remember that scene,
오늘은 별 문제 없을 것 같아요.
that tournament game? And he says he doesn't really remember. And how do you feel meeting him again in round of 24?
강력한 저그를 또 이기고 올라온
So-
김경모 선수인데 의식이 좀 되진 않으세요?
So he seems kind of careless.
솔직히 저저전
He doesn't really remember him.
잘한다고 생각하고
Remember his game against GGaemo?
방심하면은 진짜 쓸릴 수도 있고.
But thing is, ZBZ,
조심해야 될 것 같아요.
you cannot let your guard
오늘
down.
김경모 선수가 좀 탱커 역할을 인터뷰에서 해주고 계시는데 김현중 선수가 일단 김경모 선수는 좀 쉬운 상대다라고 이야기를 했어요. 조일장 선수도 재작년에 김경모 선수에게 패배했던 거 그다지 기억에 남지 않는다라는 좀 답변을 해주신 것 같은데 김경모 선수는 어쨌든
So
승리했던
GGaemo,
기억 머릿속에 남아 계신 것
asking a
같거든요.
question to GGaemo. Do you remember anything that you played against Snow in the previous season that you lost quite? You kind of lost the game very badly, and
네.
he kind of wants to forget it. He's got to meet him again in the round of 24.
빠르게 탈락할 김윤중 선수의 모습을 좀 김경모 선수는
He wants to play against
기대하고
Shuttle,
계시는 것 같은데
either in a
다음
winners or
주에는
losers
김윤중,
match,
황정영
and he
선수에게
wants to knock him
드려보도록
down.
하겠습니다. B조의 승부 예측 역시 좀 쉽지가 않다라고
So round of 24 Group B, very hard to make a winner's prediction.
어려울 것 같다라고 생각하는 경기가 있으실 것 같아요. 황병현 선수는 어떤
Who
선수의
is the
경기가 좀
toughest player
가장
to
쉽지
play against in round of
않겠다라고
24
생각을
of this Group B?
저는
Barracks.
저는
And Barracks says
뭐 일장형이 제일 힘들 것 같아요.
Hero is the toughest player to play
평소에도 많이
against.
지기도 해가지고 일장형 전
Normally
많이
he loses a lot.
지냈는데
He lose game a lot.
경계가 되네요. 네.
저그전을 좀 많이 준비해 오신 것 같은데.
So this time he did
김윤중
prepare a lot of
선수는
Terran
오늘
vs Zerg
어떤
matchup.
선수의 대결이 가장 좀 신경 쓰이시나요?
저는 어차피
Okay, I guess the
깔고
question is to
만나는 마인드고.
the question is for everyone, and Shuttle says
황병현 선수가 조금 그래도
he
까다로운
wants
선수예요.
Hero
많이
to move
했는데
move on to the round of 16 in the first player.
황병현 선수를.
So he kind of wants to play against Barracks.
하셨을까요, 김윤중 선수?
네, 테란전을 그래도
Shuttle is very confident to play against
알겠습니다.
playing against Terrans, so he wants to meet Barracks either on a losers or winners or final decider match.
하셨는데 상대하게 될 선수들을 지켜보셨을 때 김경모 선수 오늘 가티어의 느낌인지 잭티어의 느낌인지 대답을 해주시죠.
So there's a tier list that Africa
근데 제가 대회 때는 긴장 안
Africa
하는
audience made.
편이라가지고
There's a
오늘은
tier list that
가티어 실력이
God,
나올 것
King, Jack, Joker, and so on.
같아요.
And GGaemo is belonging in
살짝 텀이
Jack
있었는데
tier
신중한
or tier
답변을
Jack.
해주셨습니다.
And
자 마지막 질문입니다. 오늘 뭐
can we
모든
expect
선수들이
GGaemo
진출하겠다라는
to be
마인드로
played just like a God tier level?
만약
And he says,
방탈하게 된다면
depending on how well he
이것까지
plays today.
하겠다. 공약을 좀
He's quite
걸겠다는
not sure.
그런 부분이 있으실지도 좀 궁금해하시는 것 같아요. 요거는 우리 김윤중 선수가 또
So
엄청난
it's a
자신감을
question
보여주셨기
for
때문에
everyone.
김윤중 선수 혹시 가장 먼저 탈락한다면 이것까지 할 수 있다. 뭐가
So the
있을까요?
question is, if I get eliminated, if I get eliminated out of this or gets knocked out of this group as the first player,
김윤중 선수의
what can you show
없는 그림일 것 같긴 한데.
in the game?
네네.
like what is your last dance of the game?
온몸에 있는 털을 다 자른단 마인드죠. 눈썹 뭐 뭐 겨드랑이 털 다 자른단 말이 듭니다. 그
So
정도로
Shuttle
네,
is
자신 있습니다.
saying that he won't be getting out of this group,
공약을 내걸어 주셨기
or
때문에
he won't be getting knocked out of this group.
공약을 걸기도 좀 쉽지 않아 보입니다. 자, 그러면
If he gets
마지막으로
eliminated in this
각
round of
선수들에게
24, then
각오를
he will be
좀
shaving his
여쭤보도록 하겠습니다.
eyebrows.
현장에 함께 계시지 못한 김윤중 선수의 각오 들어보겠습니다.
So any last word before we go into the game?
저는 오늘 3명 중에 2명이 올라간다고 생각해요. 한 명은 없다고 생각합니다. 깨모 선수. 그렇기 때문에
So
너무
Shuttle
자신 있고,
is saying that he's pretty much
3분의 2죠.
eliminating Gaemo.
한번 화이팅 하도록
Gaemo is kind of
하겠습니다.
like
화이팅! 네.
네, 화이팅입니다.
no man.
김경문 선수의
He
각오를
won't be
좀
surviving
들어볼까요?
of this round of 24. So
강하게 한마디 해주세요.
it's going to be the 3 players fighting each other to climb up to the round of 16. Hero, Barracks, and Shuttle. So he's pretty much excluding Gaemo. And Gaemo says
자, 황병현 선수.
he really wants to meet Shuttle in the next matchup, and he wants to knock him down.
네, 좋습니다. 기대하겠습니다.
And
조일장 선수.
to Barracks, he did prepare a lot of this season, so he will play.
이번 시즌에는
He will try his best.
올라갈 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
And Hero says since he got eliminated easily in round of 8, I believe, and Hero wants to climb up higher this time again. Thank you for the interview. And that was the Ask ASL event that you can ask on a ASL mainstream platform. If you leave the comment, and if your comment gets selected, you get the ASL mini fan.
Well, thank you, Scan, for the interview. Well, there's no denying that I am a big fan of Hero in this group, but after everything Shuttle has said about GGaemo, I gotta say, I kind of hope GGaemo wins here. I hope Shuttle and GGaemo can meet. And as you stated, GGaemo last season took out Snow, so I hope GGaemo puts on a good showing here, because Shuttle seems to have just almost not even considered him as a contender in this group.
Yeah, GGaemo, his ZVP knowledge, I kind of find him very strong, because I mean, ZVP is just like the thing where you have to calculate lots of stuff about like the zealot timing and the drone timing, what time exactly you have to drone up super fast and start doing the macro with the mass hydralis and so on. And I wonder if Shuttle can read off what GGaemo is exactly doing in game if they get to play each other.
Yeah, and he said they were both in the same university team, right? So I'm sure they've played versus each other quite a bit. They know their styles. We're getting a rundown of the groups today. As you know, Hero, GGaemo, Shuttle, Barracks today. Tomorrow's group is an interesting one. Usually I would say there's like 2 favorites in the group, but if you look at that group, Queen and Royal stand out, but then there's Sharp, who has ridiculous Terran versus Terran. His Terran versus Zerg is no slouch too. I'm going to be very excited to see that, because my favorite player probably right now is Royal. But looking at that group, I'm thinking, wow, maybe Royal will just be eliminated in the first round.
Yeah, that group C seems quite tough, but Royal is a player who always survives in round of 24, so I think Royal is gonna be having some very sharp strategy in that round of 24 best of 1 series. But okay, we are gonna be taking a look at here of the group B key point. So Shuttle recently got the COVID test positive, so pretty sure he's gonna be having not a great condition to play, but he will try his best. And Barracks has been playing really well recently on an online spawn bang matchup, and pretty much online matchup. And can he actually beat Hero? Like, can he hunt down all those 2 Zerg player, GGaemo and Hero, in this round of 24?
Well, I guess we're going to find out. I was not aware that Barracks was playing as well as he is these days. Maybe that session he did at Light's house is really helping him. I know me and Artosis watched it a couple times, but that's going to be in our next match, because right now we've got Hero versus GGaemo. You can see his stats here, basically about 50% versus all the races, which is really darn good in ASL. If you've got a 50% win rate, generally you're going pretty far in the tournament. But last season, I was looking at how he got eliminated, and that was a group with a lot of Zergs. So I'm sure he's worked on his ZVZ and is going to try and take down GGaemo here, who has pretty strong Zerg versus Zerg too, I think.
Yeah, 1 year ago, Hero had a very bad ZVZ matchup, but okay, never mind. We're also taking a look at GGaemo here. GGaemo's ZVZ matchup win rate is 0%. I wonder who he lost against to, but I think it's time for him to win this time, in my opinion. I mean, if you're having those 3 losing streak, you can turn it around this time. And Hero needs to prepare a lot.
And ZVZ is volatile. You also take those stats with a grain of salt. You gotta remember, 3 games in 1 matchup. I mean, he could have gone up against like the strongest of the strongest players, right? Like it's not really a sign that his ZVZ is weak or anything. I mean, it's only 3 games. Somebody can easily just lose 3 games in a row. The lack of games for ZVZ makes me wonder if of the playstyle of GGaemo. I'm trying to think of when's the last time I saw him ZVZ in ASL, and nothing's coming to mind. So I can't remember. Is he like someone that is super aggro? Like, is he gonna 9 pull, or is he like a 12 hatch player? We've got Butter as our first map, right? Which is kind of a big map. So we may actually see an eco opener like a 12 hatch.
Well, let's see. Players teams getting ready of this Group B match 1. And it looks like players are ready. We're going to be moving to game number 1 of this round of 24 Group B. Hero versus GGaemo on Butter.
Okay, in the bottom right, our green Zerg, it is Hero. And in the top right, our pink Zerg, it is GGaemo. And as I stated, Butter, quite a big map. Do you think we will see something like a 12 hatch opener?
Well, if I try to remember some of a game like how Hero was playing from the previous season, I think Hero did some type of like a 7 pool build and try to 7 pool into the speed lane build, but it did not work out well. Okay, so we are taking a look at this what is it, the data of these 2 players, Hero and GGaemo. So that's the data what we were talking about in an interview. Season 11 qualifier day 1, GGaemo beat Hero 2-0. And Hero is going for 9 pull.
Yeah, so they have somewhat recent history because Season 11 wasn't that long ago. So GGaemo, definitely no slouch in ZVZ because Hero is one of the absolute best Zerg players right now in all matchups. And there is the 9 pull, and GGaemo is floating all those minerals. We do not have an overpool, no 12 pull just yet. And it looks like he may actually go for 12 hatch. Now, even though Butter is a big map, like I've said, I have seen almost every single time somebody goes for 9 pool versus 12 hatch, the 9 pool wins. At least.
Ooh. Is this 12 hatchery at home?
Oh, it could be. That could be the case because the drone should have been... Wait, what? That's a 13 pool scan?
Yeah, I haven't seen that strategy. I mean, I haven't seen 13 pool for a long time, but... Maybe it might be a thing, but we are seeing GGaemo just make the 13 pull. Luckily, if he has gone for 12 hatchery, it would have been a complete loss of this ZVZ matchup. But he still has a shot to survive. Hero has the 9 pull. He did spend 100 Vespene gas for something else. Did he go for lair, or is that a metabolic boost? Okay, it's a metabolic boost.
I don't know about this. I also have not seen 13 pool, and I'm just looking at the timing of the pool in the main. This feels like that natural is going to be canceled. And as I know, watching a lot of Butter games in BSL, that Overlord missed all of the Lings, so right now he still doesn't know that this is a 9 pool. But Lings are on their way. And GGaemo's spawning pool has just finished, so maybe he can get Lings there in time, but I'm not confident in that.
Well, thing is, I mean, he does have the Zergling speed on the way, but GGaemo does not have the Zergling speed. He did skip the metabolic boost and went for the directly went for lair tech on the way. He does not get to see those 6 links, and those 6 links at the additional 6 links are standing at the natural. Now GGaemo sees those 6 links going for the backstab. Can he react?
Oh my gosh, so Hero ended up just banking the links, sent 6 of them to the side to try and fool GGaemo, and he has been fooled. 4 of the links are completely out of position. He has to of his main just to save it, and actually he canceled his lair, right? So he is way behind right now in terms of tech. Speedlings kill a drone. Speedlings at the natural, he's going to balance that. Also, look at that, in his main, he's only mining with 4 drones versus just 4 links, so he's on the verge of losing a lot of drones there.
I wonder if the canceling the lair tag is the right decision here, because I mean, I wonder if he can actually defend the both sides at the same time. But now those 4 Zerglings coming from the main, and now those drone needs to drill, but they're out of position.
Yeah, out of position, and the Lings got really good surface area onto GGaemo's Lings, and that means that GGaemo may end up just outright dying here. You can see the effects of the speed just allowing Hero to reposition so easily, and he's got a massive advantage right now. Even though supplies are even, his Spire's about halfway done now. He's found another good angle. He picks off a drone and a couple of Lings, and now he can probably just back off and hold his choke.
GGaemo does have total 8 drones. The observer showed us he only has 8 drones. 4 drones at the main, 4 drones at the natural, and GGaemo is struggling. He was struggling to defend those early Zergling pressure, but okay, he's gonna be scouting, spreading all of his Zergling to figure out whether those 2 Zerglings are hiding somewhere. Oh, is he going to miss it? Oh, he misses it.
Yeah, he just barely misses the Lings. And he's going to go for a big counterattack. I think he has slightly more Lings right now, but obviously the positioning of Hero is a little bit superior. But GGaemo knows that he's got to do something, so he's going to go for it. But meanwhile, 2 Lings into the main, probably going to ransack a ton of drones.
Oh, those 2 drones gets picked off. 3rd drone is about to get picked off. GGaemo is just so completely busy microing off his Zergling at Hero's natural, and that it seems a bit too late. He does not have the evolution chamber going up. Those 2 Zerglings are still buying some time. 2 middleists or 3 middleists are on the way. Can he actually have the spore on time? And I think the answer is no.
Yeah, there's no way. That's an evolution chamber just now starting. It's halfway done. There's no anti-air. GGaemo has to go for a counterattack, and the counterattack has to eliminate Hero here, which we know is basically impossible. So that's going to be Hero getting a little bit of revenge for Season 11 here. He is going to send GGaemo into the loser side of the bracket.
Yeah, so that was very good mind game of Hero. I mean, if Hero has shown that early 6 Zergling in the early stage of the game, GGaemo probably had a different solution to counter against that the 9-pull build. I mean, if you get to see the 9-pull, probably he would have gone for the metabolic boost first and then probably delay his lair attack as much as he could have. But since he completely missed those 6 Zergling, moved out to the left side of the map, and he went for the lair attack super fast, so things just did not work out well for GGaemo here. And Hero will be waiting at the winners match, and GGaemo moves down to losers match.
But that was an interesting pool timing from GGaemo. Like we both said, I have not seen a 13 pool. I don't think ever. It seemed like he would have had enough Lings to hold, but moving those Lings off to the side, that was very slick of Hero. I never thought about there. It was a good scout by GGaemo to check the sides for it, but a little bit slow reaction time, and he gets punished. And at this level, if you're too slow to react, you will just outright lose. So GGaemo, he is in the losers bracket. He's going to have to be careful now because it's best of 1. But coming up next, we got Shuttle versus Barracks. Don't go anywhere. All right, we are back. We're going to be going into game 2 in just a second. Oh, forgot. We've got a Ask ASL or something.
Yeah, let's hear what she says.
여러분들도 또 그리고 시청자 여러분들도 선수들을 향한 뜨거운 응원을 보내주고 계시는데요.
So lots of
선수들을
audience
향한 뜨거운 응원
also
보내주시는 여러분들
came to the studio today.
드리겠습니다.
They're rooting for their favorite players to win, and that's the event of ASL Ask ASL. Go to ASL mainstream platform. Leave a comment to things the question that you want to ask to the player. And if your comment gets selected, then you get the ASL mini fan. And there's also the winner's prediction on the AfricaTV esports page. You can throw some gem, and those gems can be exchanged for something else like coffee or food or even computer graphics card. So please check that out if you guys want to try that out.
Well, the computer graphics card got my attention, so definitely consider doing that.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, I was not expecting to hear that after you're talking about, jelly and coffee and stuff, but that's an expensive item for sure. But our next match is going to be Shuttle versus Barracks. Shuttle seemed a bit confident in this particular matchup. His PvT, I can agree, is quite strong. But what do you think about Barracks' chances versus Shuttle?
If I remember Barracks' playstyle, he is one of the player who kind of likes to go for super fast science vessel like Sock, where he, a couple years ago, Sock usually goes for very fast +2 attack with the 5 factory, 6 factory into first 2 vessels, and he uses his vessel for the matrix. And Barracks is kind of the player like Sock.
Okay, well that will be something to look for. I don't think I've really seen that or noticed that in Barracks games. So I'll be looking for that. Our first map is going to be Butter again. I don't really watch Barracks that much because Light and Royal are basically my favorite Terrans, but he is a very good Terran. Whenever I think of Barracks, I actually think of really high APM, really fast. Like, whenever I watch him, whenever there's a fight, he instantly unsieges and continues to push. I mean, he's really, really quick with his attacks, so maybe he can bring it to Shuttle here. But Shuttle is a very formidable player in PvT. Our players are ready, so let's get into Game 2 between Shuttle and Barracks on Butter. Okay, in the top right, in the red, it is Shuttle. And in the bottom right, in the blue, we have Barracks. So, 2-player map. What do you think about TVP on maps like this?
Well, if you are playing on a 2-player map, you always have to be worried about some type of like a shenanigan build or gas steal or even 12 Nexus build without going for the scout for Protoss perspective. And look at that Barracks fan. He is rooting for Barracks, and also another fan for it's for Barracks also, because in Season 9 he beat Rush and Mini in Season 9. That's incredible in that scene.
That is quite impressive. Now, I'm looking at that depot wall scan, and if you put a Barracks below that, you can completely wall in. But, walls are not exactly the most common move these days. He cannot put the Barracks to the right side of the depot. That's not going to be Zealot tight. So I'm curious what he's doing with this. It seems like he's going to full wall, and he is, but look at the supply. He did have to cut for this, but at least he will not get gas stolen. So that's a big win for Barracks.
And the one thing that I don't like, about this scene, because of SCV will constantly get harassed by the scouting probe in early stage of the game, and now he needs to he needs to change that SCV with the full HP one, but now the SCV is dangerously low. Now he needs to swap that SCV. He needs to jump over the barracks. Okay, he luckily saves that SCV.
Yeah, as you stated, this is one of the downsides of walling like this, because once the SCV gets low, it's almost impossible to save it. And as I was watching that SCV get back onto the barracks, what instantly came to mind was, okay, is this going to be a Flash SCV? Because Flash's SCVs always bounce in the right direction. Barracks got lucky there that the probe did not knock it down, because it, I think, was one hit away. But as far as builds, I mean, this is about as good of an opener as Barracks can get. He did not get gas stolen. It's very normal factory timing. The probe does see the SCV building something though, so he knows that the factory timing is basically normal, and Shuttle has responded with just a standard opener. We don't see like Zealot pressure into Nexus. We don't see anything unusual.
There's also one way of saving the scout, one way of saving the SCV, changing the network latency to extra high, and you just kind of mess up opponent's player's game rhythm, the game tempo. But you can't do that. It's kind of like what is it? It's not a very good manner to do it in a tournament. But yeah, we are also seeing the cybernetics core being spinning, so that means the shuttle is going to get a good range, and that's a very old strategy that we haven't gotten to see. One gun range into 21 Nexus.
Yeah, and speaking of unusual, the whole time I'm sitting here waiting for Barracks to put down a bunker, but there's no bunker. Okay, this is why. He's waiting for 3 Marines. I thought that this Dragoon, he was just going to let get across the map and potentially, not necessarily contain him, but be quite annoying. Now, nicely, he knocks down the probe. That's not necessarily a huge win, but eliminating the pesky probe is nice. He does push back this goon, because 3 Marines do end up killing a single goon. Now, the probe is trying to knock down that SCV, but it does manage to actually skirt by and does get a full scout off, and he sees nothing unusual. So both players have gotten into the early stages of the game in a normal game state.
That's very really built from Barracks, because he's still making additional Marine, and now he's having the first tank. And there are the second gun just now came. Shuttle did not respond on time. That first gun already turned into yellow HP, which is not good.
Yeah, so that goon is not long for this world if Barracks push. Now, I was experimenting with this particular build, like 5 or 6 Marines. Okay, never mind, it's not exactly the same. I was going to say, what do you think of like 2 tanks, 5 Marines, and then rallied single Vulture? But not the case. It's just 1 tank to push back the goons, and now Vulture's going to get onto the map and lay some mines, and this is followed up with the second factory.
And the thing that I'm taking a look at Bear's build is he's not going for fast armory build. He has put down the second factory before 5 minutes. He did show the first Vulture, but now he's having the second tank, and he's already moving across the map, and he's just gonna be going up to the second floor and the third floor. Never mind, he's going back.
Yeah, so he did show 4 Marines initially to Shuttle. So Shuttle has to respect that, because he doesn't know that Barracks just built these units and backed off. So I like this move from Barracks. It forces Protoss to actually spend money on goons. He can't just spend that money on like an additional Nexus, right? Wow, that's 8 Marines, 9 Marines, 3 tanks and a single Vulture. But we are approaching the point in the game where Protoss is going to have like 6, 7 goons. Also going to have observers. So I'm not too sure about this push, because Marines obviously don't have range.
Yes, that is definitely correct. And Shuttle probably has smelled something, that something is coming, so that's why he decided to put the third gateway. Normally, you don't put down the third gateway. Oh, okay, there's an observer. Was able to see the spider mine, and that is 3 tank siege mode with 9 Marines, as you mentioned. That's a lot, and that's a siege mode.
Yeah, and he can double bunker this. There's a first bunker coming up. The Vultures, one of them do have mines, but you can see.
Oh my god!
Oh, if your mine connects, oh my god, it does! And he kills off almost every single goon. Luckily, he kills almost all the tanks, but this is a lot of firepower in those Marines. And Shuttle rushed Observer. This is not a fast Reaver play, so it's going to be really hard to save his natural. And this non-stop Marine tank push is on the brink of actually knocking down this Nat.
So this is a very bad moment for Shuttle, but I feel like Barracks is just moving towards the probe line too much, and now he does seize, but can he actually protect? Okay, Shuttle is attacking the bunker. That's not good. Tank needs to focus target on the gun. He does target on the probe line, shooting the second one. Spider-Mine's laying down.
Yeah, that whole time I didn't see the tank really focusing those goons in the back, so Shuttle does manage to hold. And I'm looking at the SCV count. In the main, it looks pretty low for Barracks, and supplies are now in favor of Shuttle. So actually, I think Barracks cut a ton for that. He got a lot of damage done, but the fact that he didn't get the killing blow means that the game is going to stabilize, and Shuttle is back in this game. So that was amazing defense from him.
Ooh. Yeah, that Spider-Mine did trigger, but Shuttle did pick up that Spider-Mine on time, and that pressure was super duper strong. But the thing is, he did cut off a lot of worker to have lots of Marine and a siege tank with the siege mode timing. So he did invest all those resources for early stages of the game. So now he needs to recover, recover the worker count or catch up the worker count. We see Shuttle has put down the third Nexus, and okay, there's a Vulture run by, but Shuttle misses it.
And that Vulture was so dangerously low to getting taken
Oh my
down.
god,
It's at
the
5
goon.
health. Oh, the goon timing from Shuttle is great, but he still is going to lose a couple more probes, and that's a big win for Barracks there. He definitely needs to get some worker kills to try and catch up his own worker count. Now behind this, he's transitioning into 4 factory. Looks like that SDV is going to be putting down even a 5th factory. Double add-on coming in also, so this is going to be a lot of tanks produced quite quickly. We also have the armory spinning, so +1. Now this is kind of a late 5 fact. Do you think this is intending to just have enough units to take a 3rd base, or are you expecting to see a follow-up attack?
Well, since the first pressure in the early season game with the 3 tank with 9 Marines, I don't think there is a second timing attack for Barracks in my opinion, because we can see Shuttle they make a couple of observers to figure out what exactly Barracks is doing, and also he is making the Shuttle with the Reaver combo. So yeah, the Reaver is just pretty much like a unit that delays all those timing attack, and there are 5 tanks are already moving up. But does Shuttle get to see?
Yeah, he saw it with the observer, so he is tracking those units, and I am a little bit surprised to see these 5 tanks move out, but he does have vision with mines. But as you stated, there is Shuttle, there is Reaper, and Shuttle shuts down pretty much all timing attacks. But Butter does have the high ground on the top left side, so if he can get into position, maybe he can try and take down that base. But supply gap is getting quite large. It's 30 supply gap, and Barracks only has 70 supply. Goons are gonna catch a tank, and Barracks is gonna have to turn around.
Nice wall. Oh my god, the Spider-Man got stuck on the pylon.
I can't believe it. But that was really clutch defense there from Shuttle. And if he knows there's a mine there, he may try and trigger it. He doesn't, but he still catches the goon anyways. And there just doesn't seem to be enough to actually stall the attack from Protoss. All these tanks are going to fall. He may even even dive on those tanks.
I think he can end the game here. He will be picking up those Spider-Mine, but okay, Scarab does fire. Okay, maybe that's too much. Very good trade for Shuttle here, and now Barracks can't really keep up the supply count. I mean, those 5 tanks that he lost is just too much, and we are seeing Shuttle is adding more Gateway, Templar Archive. Has he start? No, he hasn't started the third assimilator yet. So I guess he thinks he has more than enough to get those Sidestorm upgrade and so on. +1 upgrade on a Forge is already on the way. I wonder if Barracks has put down the third command center, because when I was listening to Light's lecture, he said that there's like the deadline of the taking the third expansion timing, which is a 12-minute mark. The latest, the third expansion that has to be run or saturation should be started is 12-minute mark, but now the 12-minute mark has reached. I don't know whether Barracks has the third command center yet, but his C-stand count is just too low to pressure go out.
Yeah, we don't see a command center. In fact, we see a 6th factory, and we see the armory spinning again, but there's no starport. So that means that this is going to be a 1-1 timing. But I just don't see a window where that's going to work. Maybe it can work. I just don't see it, though. We do see more shuttles being built by Shuttle. He's going to come into the main, and actually this could be a mistake, because if he drops there, there's a lot of mines set up, and shuttles are not exactly the cheapest unit. I mean, you got to remember, they're 200 each. He's loading them up with, you know, expensive units also. 4 zealots, potentially reavers in there too. That could be one way Barracks can get back into this game, is if Shuttle goes for a bomb and everything explodes on mines.
I mean, all those the early stage of the game with the sharp, aggressive build that Barracks showed, that was a very good one. But I'm not sure what exactly he wants to do in this late game here, because I saw he has the +1 weapon upgrade and the armory was still spinning, so that means the armor 1 upgrade is also on the way. But I don't see the third command center nor starport, but we know Shuttle is just macroing really hard. He's not even planning to go for the arbiter build. He's making a couple of high templars with 3 shuttle here, waiting until Barracks puts down the third command center, or puts place down the third command center at the 5 o'clock. Is that a command center that's being floated?
I think it's just the Barracks floating right there. Yeah, so Shuttle's gonna sit on this high ground and try to deny this base, but actually it's kind of hard to attack into the position that Barracks is in right now. You can build a depot to mess up the AI. You can float a racks, but that just got picked off. And then if Barracks can actually get onto the high ground, he's going to also have that advantage too. So Shuttle, even though he looks like he's in a good position, he definitely is with the 4 bases, but Barracks can actually play this out, I think, if he can get the 3rd base.
Yeah, and he's still having decent amount of supply count, but I don't see the 3rd command center nor starport yet. Okay, I guess he's just gonna be committing to move out. Maybe this is the 1-1 timing attack that he can execute against Protoss before Shuttle has mass storm. Let's take a look.
if Shuttle uses those 3 shuttles to counterattack, that's potentially like 20 to 30 supply, but he did not go for the counterattack, so he is going to save those units to actually help defend this push. Now, I'm looking at Barracks' army the whole time, and I don't see a single Goliath, so these shuttles are going to be very strong, and actually that is a command center, so he is not completely all in. He is going to try and transition if he's able to, you know, fall back after this attack, but he's actually not pushing. He's approaching max. He's at 170 supply. Looks like he's content with kind of just hanging around this center position.
Yeah, okay, that seems like an engagement will be happening. Now sieging right next to the shuttle, not right next to the siege tank, unloading a couple of zealots, and there are 2 reavers. Focus firing on those vulture. 5 vultures get exploded. Remaining are in total 9 tanks, but can he actually survive? Okay, there's actually a couple more of a siege tank at the backup line, but I don't know whether this is a good trade for Terran.
Yeah, Terran ends up evening up the supply. It was about as good of a trade as I think you can get. 107 to 107, but the problem is Protoss still has 5 bases now. Terran's just now starting their 3rd base. He is going to transfer, and like I stated in the pregame, once Barracks wins a fight, he's pushing. Like, you can see how fast he instantly unsieged. The problem, though, is Protoss has like 10 gates. He's still got the double reaver, but this is butter where there is a lot of high ground, so maybe he can use this to his advantage. But again, there's still no Goliaths in this army, so there's no way to shut down the shuttle.
Yeah, this is completely looking bad for Barracks here. He's still calculating the range of the Yeah, he's calculating the range of the siege tank to pick up the Reaver. But okay, thing is, Shuttle lost so many guns in that fight earlier, and now this contain seems really strong, and somehow Barracks managed to saturate the third expansion at 6 o'clock. So now his macro starts to pump up. Okay, that's a nice scare shot. Oh, scare up! Oh my god!
He tried
Nice
to body
one.
block with the vultures, but that was a good shot there. Takes down 2 tanks, and when there's only 7 or 8 tanks, you know, 2 is a big deal. And even though Barracks was really quick on the gun to try and go for a counterattack, you can see even with that fast counter play, Protoss is already maxed out. 190 to 130 is also +2, +1 for Protoss, which is a really strong upgrade timing for Protoss also.
That's a lot of Shuttle. Shuttle has started to unload lots of Zealot, but can he actually break this line? The answer is probably no. I mean, somehow 70 supply of Protoss army disappears. Lots of guns getting melted. Those siege tank. I mean, how many tanks is that? Almost 10? That's quite a lot.
That's a ton of tanks, and Shuttle has like 10 gateways. He didn't wait for the last Zealot cycle, so it's actually like 170 supply versus what, 130? That's manageable for Terran, but that engagement was fantastic for Barracks. Great defense. Now he's on the brink of pushing either this mid-right base or top-left base with also a massive contain. I don't know if these vultures have any more spider mines though. Spider mines killed so many Zealots in the previous attack.
Yeah, Shuttle said he's very confident of playing Terran versus Protoss versus Terra matchup on the pre-interview, but now, I mean, it's just not looking great. I mean, somehow Barracks managed to catch up the supply count. He's adding more missile turret. Siege tanks are started to move to the front line, and those 4 tanks will be attacking the third expansion at the same time. This is I don't know how Shuttle's gonna be making the combat, because there's just way too many of missile turret being placed down.
Yeah, there's a ton of tanks and there's a ton of vultures. I thought after the pylon wall just got breached right there, Shuttle might try and bust out before Terran can reinforce this position anymore. But he's kind of missed that opportunity. I mean, look how clumped up those units are. They're going to start funneling in. Now Barracks is about to kill mid-right while also killing potentially top-left. So all of a sudden, Shuttle's going to be down to basically 1 base mining because the Nat's about to fall too.
The most interesting part is Barracks did not make a single go wide in this game. He just pumped out Siege taking a vulture and bringing a couple of SCV, putting down the missile turret.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the Goliath whole game, but it's just never come out. And this he's got the right comp. This is probably the last stand of Shuttle. He must break out now. Lots of mines triggering on the Zealots. But look at the tanks, they're holding so strong. Almost none of them have died. All the goons die. There's no support for the Templars. The Reaver's the only thing that actually does damage. Okay, now the storms come in, and now they're finally going to clean up a lot of the tanks. Supplies plummet for both players, but look at mid-left. It's completely gone, and it's 2 base mining for Shuttle. But look, Barracks is taking a 4th base at mid-right, so he's going to have 2 base mining too. We've got sub 100 supplies for Protoss.
Yeah, this is not looking great for Shuttle. I mean, it's just too many siege tanks. Now he will be starting to do. Okay, he's calculating the range of the siege tank. Now he's gonna be picking up the Reaver. Oh my God, does not able to throw any of a scarab shot. You're bringing a couple of Goliath finally in this 21 minute of the game, and Shuttle is definitely poor on resources. Natural is about to get mined out. And now Barracks has 2 base running at the 5 o'clock. Okay, there's GG's call for Shuttle. Incredible play.
I can't believe it. Those mine hits outside of the natural were huge for Shuttle, evening up the supply. You said it, like 70 supplies just got evaporated. And that was the only timing Barracks had. The only one. So really well done from Shuttle, or from Barracks, I mean. Where do you think it went wrong from Shuttle? I know that the mass Shuttle play is kind of the flavor of the year, but should he have teched into something else like arbiters? Should he have gone carriers?
In my opinion, maybe throwing one of the shuttle, like dropping one zealot and two high templars at the natural, and maybe do some storm drop to trade off or actually harass the worker line, like the mineral line. I mean, he hasn't done any of them. I mean, shuttle just constantly attacking the front line and go for 200 versus 200 battle, but somewhere in the 14 minute of game where he just completely threw all of his army, I think that probably hurt him so much there. Because if he does not have leftover goons, Terran can always unseize all of his tank and just starts to move out. And we're going to be taking a look at this Hot 6 commercial of this Into the Rain, Castor Park, and Castor Lee.
Yeah, when I saw the goons die, I was like, uh-oh, we're in big trouble here. But that was really impressive timing push from Barracks. I thought he was dead, like especially when you were talking about the latest you can build a command center is 12 minutes, and then I see a 15 command center. I thought, okay, there's no chance here, right? Because Shuttle's, in my opinion, by far his best matchup is PBT. But wow, actually, Shuttle's in the losers match, and you know what that means now, Scan, right? Is we have Shuttle versus GGaemo,
Oh.
and Shuttle talking all that smack. You know, I'm not even a huge fan of GGaemo, like I'm not, but I really want him to win now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be a quite interesting game of those two player, PvZ Shuttle versus GGaemo, and I kind of want to see some new map. I mean, of course, players do not like to play on a new map, but as an audience or commentator, we would like to see some new map and new strategy. But okay, we are seeing those casters are chugging into those Hot 6, the King, 0, the black one.
I think this is the first time I saw Caster Lee do like a big gulp of it. Usually it's just Into the Rain going really hard on the Hot 6, but I think it's the first time I saw Caster Lee really go for it.
Yes, they
Well,
seem enjoying of this Hot 6 commercial here. Looks like they're done wrapping it up.
Yep, break coming up. We'll be back. We are back, guys, and during the break, we got to see one of Caster Lee's favorite games, Mini vs. Zero. I remember that game. That was absolutely nuts. If you guys have not seen it, you should definitely check it out. But we're going into Hero versus Barracks, and Barracks talked about how he really practiced for TVZ. I'm a bit sad to see the map bans there. Arkanoid got banned, and Odyssey got banned. I really want to see how Terrans play Odyssey because of that weird base, but I didn't catch what map they're actually playing on Scan.
They are going to be played on the map Allegro, and Allegro is one of the map is kind of like very standard map, just like Polypoid. But let's see how well Barracks has prepared. And I know Hero is the type of player who really loves to use a aggressive muta playstyle in early mid stage of the game. And let's see how well Barracks will be surviving.
Yeah, and Allegro, as we all know, is kind of the modern version of Largo. This is a big macro map, like you said. Hero, he's one of my favorite Zergs because he is super aggressive, but he also goes into a comp that a lot of people never played, really, which is Hydra Lurker Defiler. So I'm hoping to see that in the late game, and I want to see Barracks' response. Players are ready. It's time to get into Game 3. This is our winner's match, Hero versus Barracks. Okay, in the top right, taking down GGaemo quite quickly in his first match, it is Hero. And in the top left, with an impeccable counterattack, it is Barracks.
There's a one thing that it reminds me of these two players. It was in a couple of seasons ago where Barracks was going for Rex expansion into factory build. That was the Goliath build, but then Hero went for the Lurker bust, but then Barracks wasn't actually prepared against it and he died to it. I wonder if Barracks is planning to go for the mech build once again, or he's going to be playing something standard. But thing is that we have to know is Hero is going to be finding out where Barracks is located at, and also Barracks is at the worst location, because if you put down if you have the command center at the 11 o'clock natural, you have the complex station towards to the right side, and there's just literally not much of a place to build missile turret. And of course Hero is gonna be doing lots of harassment, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's always annoying to have the comm set on the right side, not just because of the turrets, but also bugs out your gas mining. You always gotta have like 4 on there to optimally mine. We see Hero's got a bit of a lucky scout there. He is going to find Barracks in the first position at top left. Barracks is a very aggressive player in my opinion, so I'm happy to see that we're actually not going to have like an 8 racks this time. He is just going to play a normal opener. And we do have 12 hatch from Hero, nothing
Barracks.
unusual. Yeah, I was thinking, like, shouldn't a Barracks be down? So actually he is greeting it up right now. It's going to be a 14 Barracks, or 14 command center, but luckily Hero is going to find it instantly.
And now the Overlord sees the command center, and Barracks also sees the Overlord. Ooh, Hero decided to make 2 more drones.
Okay, well, this drone is probably just going to go to mid-right and put down a 3rd base, but maybe not. Maybe he's going to put a 3rd base at bottom right. Now, Barracks hasn't scouted this yet, but if you're a Terran and you have scouted that Zerg has gone 3 hatch over and you go 14 command center, what do you think the right response is?
The right responses of against their hatchery at the different location, I would say probably 2 racks academy into eBay follow up and just try to get those +1 attack at 8-minute mark. And I mean, you can't really do much with the +1 super fast with the +1 attack with like a 4 racks 5 racks build, because you want to pressure Zerg as much as you can in the early stage of the game and force them to put down something calling each side and make him poor. But we are seeing the gas is going up, so we're gonna be seeing some mech build once again.
Yeah, so you were talking about the Goliath play, and that could definitely be the case here. I like Barracks' response here, because if he was going to die to a 9 pool or something, he would have already died, right? So I like how he's going to go straight into gas. I remember watching a video from a very long time ago saying, like, you can just get free wins if you go into 14cc and Goliath play, of course, if you don't instantly die to an early pool. And we may see this. Are you surprised that Hero didn't take the natural at the low ground on bottom right? Because now he can't sunken bottom right.
Well, why? I think he will be just putting down those sun colony each side, like the top and the bottom, to defend against the vulture. But now he gets to see the alert attack on the way. SCV gets chased, and I really hate that drone chasing the scouting SCV all day long. And I kind of sometimes I feel like the drone and the probe, they're like a army unit. Sometimes they're not worker anymore.
Well, what I don't understand is how the probe can shoot through a mineral and deal damage to other workers. You know, like I'm watching a drone literally have 0 range, but it shoots through a mineral. How's that possible? I wish an SCV could do that, but we do have. Yep, there's the armory. So this is going to be double armory. Okay, so tell me about this, Can.
Well, double armory build I think we have seen in a long time ago from Flash's build. Probably it was used in a 2-player map on like Eclipse, but I wonder whether this is going to be a good build against Zerg on a 4-player map where you cannot take your 3rd gas easily. But I think Hero misses the vulture moving out.
Yeah, he's got his Overlord over the Nat, but he's not sending all of his lings there. That Zergling, I don't think it does have speed actually, so he does find the Vulture, but Vulture can micro forever and kill infinite lings if he is in perfect control. So far he's got perfect control, takes down 2 out of the 6 lings, and that forces the Sunken out. That's great for Barracks right now. Oh wow, really good control, catches the Vulture and does knock it down, only losing 4 lings. I would say that's a pretty darn good trade for Hero.
And now the hydrogen has been going down, so I'm going to be expecting of another lurker all-in build from Hero, in my opinion. I'm going to be looking at that Vespin gas. Okay, Vespin gas, 300 Vespin gas, 200 Vespin gas now just disappear. That means that Hero has spent that resource for the lurker upgrade, and I have a feeling we're going to be taking a look at a same scenario from a couple seasons ago, Hero versus Barracks on Eclipse against the lurker all-in, and let's see how well Barracks will be holding off.
I think a lot of players really undervalue the power of lurkers versus mech play. Like, I realize tanks blow lurkers up, but and Goliaths, you know, they're pretty tanky too, but you got to think from Terran's perspective. Terran skips Academy and Scan forever. Like, that's just how they play Goliath openers and mech openers. So I love this mass lurker style that we are seeing. I like how the Spire went up at the natural if the Vulture got in to kind of fake potential mutas, and the Lings are doing a good job to keep the SCB and keep limited intel. Look at this, he's even building turrets because he has no vision on what Zerg's doing. He has to build the turrets. So this is a really good mind game from Hero.
The lurkers are about to be more Zerglings are being made, and there are 6 Hydralisks being morphed into a lurker. Can we get to see more of missile turret? Okay, never mind. We are seeing the starport going up at the main Barracks. Oh my god, you don't have a missile turret at the natural. How well are you going to be holding off? Okay, but the Goliaths are moving out. But if he gets to see those Zerglings standing at the front line, he might be able to smell something weird, because he hasn't seen any of the Mutalisks so far at the 7-minute mark of the game.
Yeah, no mutas, and why are you building so many Lings? But there's still no turret, and even if there was, I don't know if he would be able to hold it. This is 6 lurkers, and this is a ton of Lings, and here he comes. There's no way he can focus down all the lurkers in time. Hero getting into position, he's going to limit. Oh, well, he's just going to end this game. SCV's going to die left and right. The Goliaths are caught on the right side. Goliaths can't even come down to help. All the SCVs are dying, and this is a repeat of the Eclipse game from that previous ASL season that you were talking about.
Well, he's somehow still able to survive, but he's trying to focus target on those lurkers. But the missile turret needs to be completed, but missile turret is getting targeted. But now he does have the detector, but does not. He wasn't repairing Goliaths. Oh no, this is not looking good for Barracks. I mean, he's just taking so much of a damage. More Zerglings. Zergling flood is incoming. 3 Goliaths at a time. That's not looking great.
and he's gonna knock down that turret also maybe. But even if he doesn't knock it down, all he has to do is sit here. There's still no academy. There's still no comsat. I don't see a science vessel coming out either. The Nat has been reaching. Remember, this isn't all-in Zerg. This is 3 hatch Zerg with 3 bases. So Hero still is fine, even if this gets held. Finally, a lurker might fall, but Barracks lost half of his SCVs.
Yeah, more units are coming. I'm seeing more building is going up at Hero's main base. Okay, that's a Queen's Nest with the Evolution Chamber already.
Yeah, Hive is at least started. We don't know how far along it is, but Hero is continuing to just pump out tons and tons of units. Not a lot of drones at his third base. Oh, actually, he does have decent drone count there, and he did have a 4th macro hatch in his main. So he does have a lot of larva production. He does have the tech, and he still has this contain going. So Hero is in an amazing spot, but somehow Barracks isn't dead yet. He does have a decent amount of glides. Maybe he can actually save his main or save his natural in just a minute.
Yeah, that Zergling flood is just pretty much killing everything. More hatchery being up at the main base of Hero's main base. Okay, that's another hatchery being placed at the 4th expansion. It's just too much.
Yeah, it's just too much. Too many lurkers, too many lings. He only has 1 scan, and he's going to eliminate maybe 2 out of the 4 lurkers. I don't know if he'll actually get these remaining ones in. He doesn't, and that means he doesn't have any more scans. He cannot continue to push. He also doesn't have a tank, so he can't even siege these lurkers either. So Goliath not even going to be able to get down the ramp and take those out. So the command center continues to float. This is 4 base Zerg now with 6 hatch, I think. So big macro, even though supplies are even right now.
Well, I kind of want to understand. I mean, he made a science vessel, but no siege tank. But he's making more vulture here. Not sure what that plan is, but Defiler Mount is already up. Even the second Avalanche Chamber is going up. Nidus Canal is getting connected to the 5 o'clock. Maybe he's aiming to get the dropship here and try to flip the table around. Maybe put some spider mine center of the map and try not to send out the Defiler walk all the way up to Barracks Natural here.
Yeah, laying mines. I mean, this is a really good idea to lay mines, but even if he stalls the attack, like I said, Zerg's not all in. I mean, this is like 10 hatch Zerg now. If he can lay mines, it just kind of delays the inevitable. It's 4 base Zerg versus 1 base Terran right now. Drop is going to go into the main while also harassing bottom right. Now, this is a cute move. But I don't know how much damage he'll actually be able to do with these vultures. Nidus is also set up, and the tank gets picked off!
He was so busy microing the vulture, and then Hero decided to go for the counterattack with the lurker, picking up the siege tank, and now the Defiler is here. Consume upgrade should be almost done by now, but does he have enough Zergling to consume anything?
I didn't see any lings there. I think the vessel got picked off also. I didn't see it hanging around anymore. He consumes that Overlord, and now there's absolutely no counterplay to the Dark Swarm. There it is, the orange cloud triggers the GG, and what a mind game from Hero. I really like Barracks, greedy opener, but in the end, too much of a big brain play from Hero takes the game easily.
Yeah, just kind of like the repeat of the game from a couple seasons ago. Hero versus Barracks on Eclipse. Same scenario. Dying once again. It was kind of unfortunate. I mean, the build order advantage was fantastic, but he wasn't able to read off the lurker all in for the next combo.
Yeah, it's just hard to read. I mean, you lose your SCV, the Vulture didn't get any intel, and you don't have scans. It's really hard to read in. When you're going for a timing, you don't want to waste money on Academy. I mean, that's an expensive upgrade or expensive building. You put double comsat, you lose 4 SCVs putting on the double comsat. I mean, it really does impact your build. So, bit unlucky there for Barracks, but so far, I'm quite impressed with his play, even though he's waiting in the deciders match now. But congrats to Hero. He's first out of his group in first place. And let's get into interview with him.
Okay, Hero should be... Okay, he's standing up. He's gonna be going for the interview. No, that's not Hero. That's GGaemo. Never mind.
ASL Season14 24강
So
비조경
ASL Season 14 Round of 24. This is Group B. The first player will be advancing into Round of 16. That will be Hero.
감사합니다.
Congratulations.
없는 깔끔한 승리로
That was
16강에
very
가장 먼저 또 이름을
that was absolutely
올리셨습니다. 경기
clean
전에도 전혀
and solid
긴장하는
game
느낌을
from
받지
you.
못했는데요. 오늘 이렇게 원하시는 대로 경기 잘 풀어 나가신
Did
소감
the game
어떠신가요?
did the game go well
일단
for
오늘
you
운이
of
좀 많이
today's game?
따라줬던 것 같아요.
And Hero
그래가지고
says
생각보다 더 쉽게
there was
올라간
lots
것
of
같아서
luck
기분이
on
많이
him.
좋네요.
That it worked out
선수와의
so well
경기도
for him.
그렇고 승자전에서 황병영 선수와의 경기도 그렇고 물론 보면서 상대방의 약점을
And
파고드는
yeah,
플레이도
Barracks
멋있었지만
and GGaemo has some.
그만큼 상대에 대한 분석이 좀 잘
He
됐다는
wasn't
느낌이
expecting of his
들었거든요.
strategy,
경기
so
준비하면서
just
좀
think it
스타일
worked out so
분석을
well.
하셨나요?
So
일단은
he's asking
1경기
a
같은
question to
경우에는 제가 좀 맨날
Hero
무난하게만 하다
against
보니까
GGaemo.
저글링을 한번 써보고 싶더라고요. 그래가지고
Hero usually
해봤는데
plays
상황이
something
잘
very
나오길래
standard like a 12-pull
좀
build
준비하게
or
됐고, 이
maybe
경기는 좀
like a
서치가
macro
잘
build all the time in
따라주면서
the
이제
ZBZ build. So
조금 느낌이 와서 좀
he
즉흥적으로 했던
wanted to
빌드인데
try out
잘 통했던 것
something
같아요.
new and he
황병호
decided to
선수는
go for the
아무래도
9-pull
뮤타를
build.
기다리고 있었을 텐데
And
럴커를 뽑고
GGaemo wasn't
들어가는
expecting of the
이
9-pull
계획까지
lanes
예상을
like hiding
하셨군요.
at the other
사실
side.
언제 24강인지 기억은 안 나는데 이런 똑같은 경기가 있었어요. 병영이랑 그때도 했었는데
So Hero
그때
does
생각이
remember
나면서
오.
뭔가
Hero does remember the
오늘도
same
내가 운이 좋구나
scenario
생각이 들더라고요.
playing against
지난
Barracks.
시즌에는 아무래도 16강에서 조금
He doesn't
빨리
remember what
탈락했던
day
기억
or
때문에
what season
이번
exactly
시즌은 더 높은
happened,
곳까지
but he
바라보고
did
계실
remember
것 같습니다.
how exactly
출발이
he
굉장히
beat
가볍고 좋은
Barracks
느낌이 들 것
in the
같아요.
previous season, so he decided to go for the lurker all
저번
once
시즌 좀
again.
광탈하면서 이번 시즌 좀 오프 경기가 오랜만이다 보니까 좀 많이
So Hero is
떨리진
saying
않을까
that
걱정을 했는데
he was
생각보다
kinda having
마우스
some
감도도
nervous
잘 맞고 이제
because he
뭔가
got
게임이
eliminated in
집중도
the
잘
previous
되더라고요.
season
그래서 이번 시즌은
early,
뭔가
so he had
할 수 있지 않을까
some like
생각하고 있습니다.
less
오히려
experience, or I should
현장에서
say.
팬분들과
He was kind of
함께
being
더
off on
침착하고
playing on an
차분하게
offline stage for a
경기를
long
풀어나가는
time.
듯한 조일장 선수인데요.
So he was
16강에서의
kind of a bit
모습도
worried,
굉장히
but
기대됩니다.
things just worked
팬분들에게도
out so
인사
well.
말씀 전해주시죠.
They felt something new.
일단은
Any last word to your fans?
이제 대학교에서 또 이제
Or to
응원을 많이
your
해줘가지고
people?
배려도 많이 해주고
So he's
그래서 일단은
saying
최대한 높이 올라가 보고 싶고
he's saying
항상
he's
감사드리고
saying thanks
그리고
to
또 연습을
his,
또 도와준
school
우리
team,
명훈이 형이랑
CW.
지성이랑
thank you for
수철이한테
this.
너무
Thank you for
고맙다고
supporting for his
전하고
game.
싶습니다.
네,
to the
조일장
member
선수의 멋진 모습
YSC
16강에서도
Royal.
기대하도록 하겠습니다. 진출 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
Some other members as well. I
자,
don't
이렇게 비조에서
remember.
가장 먼저 16강에 오른
And thank you
저그
for
선수죠.
coming
조일장 선수와
To the
함께했습니다.
audience as well. And thank you for the interview. Congratulations, Hero.
Yep, well done from Hero today. Solid wins across the board, and now we're going into the match of the day for me. It's Shuttle versus GGaemo after the break. It is time to get into our losers match, and there we go. Scan. We are actually going to get a new map. It's going to be Odyssey. We saw Arkanoid get banned, Allegro get banned, and this is a very, very interesting map because the third base has that weird wall. Only workers can transfer through. I don't know how this is going to play out because of that.
Well, it's gonna be somewhat understandable for Shuttle banning Allegro because I heard if there's no like a high ground advantage for Protoss to like the defending the third expansion on like a Allegro for the mineral expansion. Of course, Protoss players, lots of Protoss players will be having some difficulty defending the third expansion and also taking the fourth expansion. And we are also taking a look at the map, or how should I say, like explaining of the map here of Odyssey, circling around at the main base. There's also high ground at the behind expansion, but there's also the neutral building. I think it's 2 stacked of them, and if you kill that, then you can actually enter through the behind expansion there. And the main base has 2 Vespene gas. One is 4,000 and the bottom one is 1,000, just like the map optimizer in the couple seasons ago. And the natural, he's circling, they're circling around something about the natural, but not sure what exactly they're explaining. But it's somewhat understandable for Protoss. For Shuttle, he wants to play on a map Odyssey because whenever you're playing on a 2-player map like a cross spawn, then you can do the pylon scout, and if you get to figure out what exactly Zerg is doing in the early stage of the game, like your overpull or 12 hatchery, then you can always go for 12 Nexus build.
Well, we'll see what openers are. I've only played this map once. I found it extremely weird. There's a lot of high ground, a lot of pathways. I feel like this is going to be a map where whoever can counterattack the fastest and reinforce the fastest is going to be in a good position. Yesterday we saw the Protoss players reinforce extremely fast. Best kind of had just amazing reinforcements. So let's get into our losers match. Shuttle versus GGaemo on Odyssey. Okay, in the top right, our Protoss, it is Shuttle. And in the bottom left, our Zerg, it is GGaemo. And this must be a different version of Odyssey, where I downloaded an older version because there was definitely not 2 gases. So this is an interesting concept, like you were talking about, it being used on Optimizer.
And we are seeing... Okay, we're also taking a look at this the poster people are holding, or fans are also holding, rooting for GGaemo, and girls are all getting excited because of the camera and is pretty much shooting at her. And Shuttle has sent out the probe, putting on the pylon at the bottom side. Of course, if you want to wall off, then you put down the pylon at the bottom, Forge in the middle, and the top at the gateway. And looks like there's a foreign fan here at the studio rooting for Protoss. Shuttle.
Yeah, Shuttle's definitely a fan favorite. He's quite the character, a funny guy. I'm trying to think back to the games on Optimizer, since you kind of were talking about how the base, or the main base, was similar. Wasn't Protoss pretty strong on Optimizer because of that?
I don't quite remember, but we are seeing this is overpull. No, this doesn't seem overpull. It seems like an 11 pull. Or is it not? I need to see the HP of the spawning pool. Okay, never mind. That must be the overpull from GGaemo. And when Shuttle gets to see this overpull, I believe you can still do the 12 Nexus build, but never mind. I guess he does not want to take a risk of here. He will be going for 12 Forge into probably 14 Nexus, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the follow-up. I did notice in the map information screen that the rush distance seemed pretty close. It was 33 seconds base to base. So for crossbone, that seems a bit quick, or maybe normal-ish. So
Damn.
not willing to risk.
That probe.
Well, the probe actually ends up surviving for now, but that was a good harassment done from GGaemo there. The probe not getting the pylon block kind of is a bit, kind of hurts a little bit. Oh, Lings are already out, and cannon, has it started? Okay, it's just now starting.
Yeah, that I wasn't expecting of the Zergling would be moving out, but oh my god, losing that probe in the early stage of the game, that is going to hurt Shuttle a lot here, because he won't be able to figure out whether GGaemo is going for 973 or something else like the standard build, like the lair tech on the way. But now there's a second probe is already moving out on the map, so that is going to be lots of mining loss for Shuttle. A simulator is already going up. Is that a second pylon at the main base?
I think that is a pylon at the main base. Yes, you can see it below this second gas there. Now probe's going to come in, and GGaemo has done what I've been talking about for a long time. He has the 4 Lings, 2 on hold position on the ramp. I love it because Protoss has no idea what's going on right now, other than of course seeing the 3rd hatch at mid left, but that doesn't really tell him anything. Meanwhile, Cybernetics has started for Shuttle. Oh, I thought that was gonna be Hydrogen.
Okay, never mind. So that wasn't the Hydrogen, but we are seeing the Cybernetics core is almost halfway done, more than halfway done. The scouting probe is still being survived. Okay, never mind. I see another building going up at the main base of GGaemo's main base. That must be the Hydrogen, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's gotta be. There's no other building you would build at this point in the game, and there it is. First Zealot is moving across the map, and I think it avoided the Overlord, but this probe is dangerously low on health, and probe Zealot combo 2 shots Lings also really helps killing drones too. So if he can push back the probe, that would be fantastic, and definitely eliminate a lot of the potential DPS of that Zealot. And somehow he reads that this Zealot is already here. He has Lings at the perfect time, and I think he's going to take this out quite easily.
The thing about this 973 is so good against the Forge expansion, and Shuttle definitely knows about it. But he needs to figure out what exactly GGaemo is doing in this game. If GGaemo ever shows the Hydralisk in early stage, then Shuttle will be able to read off easily. But okay, no, he hasn't seen any of the Hydralisk yet, but the first Zealot has gotten picked up at the 9 o'clock, and the second Zealot is about to get picked up as well because of these additional Zergling being made.
Yeah, and you can see Shuttle wanted to run by that Zealot. He tried to micro there and stutter step into the main, but he got pushed back. A 3rd Zealot moving across, trying to get some more intel, but all he's really seen is a normal amount of Lings, your own cycle at the 3rd base. Now that could be Hydras, and it is. He needs to not show it, but he does, and that means that Shuttle's going to be aware that this is a 973 play, and he's going to scramble to get them cannons up.
Okay, we are seeing Shuttle. He's not cutting off the second gas. He's still mining the second gas, and also putting on the couple more of a photon cannon. But the Hydralisks are already coming.
Well, losing an Overlord is a big deal. You can see it supply blocks GGaemo, so that means he's going to be limited on how many Hydras he can build initially. And this is going to be a big supply block. I don't think GGaemo is expecting to actually lose that one.
Ooh.
We've got only 3 cannons. Okay, we've got a proxy hatchery, and he's going to go for a sunken contain.
No wonder why he had more than 973 drone. I mean, he has 974 drone at the 9 o'clock, so he has more than enough drone. And those Hydralisks does. Not sure whether he has a range upgrade, but seems like having enough range to pick up the gateway here. The first Corsair, no, that's not the first Corsair, that's the second Corsair. Try to figure out what exactly GGaemo is doing after this the follow-up. Okay, there's a robotic facility. I like this decision making from Shuttle.
Wow, he doesn't have any vision of the hatchery just yet, but he's still gone into fast robotics play. I think that's the perfect move. Oh, he does spot it, just luckily. So having the fast robo means he's going to be able to get the fast reavers or fast observer to try and push this back. DT, can it sneak out? I don't think so. Shuttle's going to technically hold this base, but it is really hard to get out of a Hydra sunken contain plus lurkers.
Well, that DT can't really move out, and there are a lot of photon cannons.
Look at the creep. Does it not creep to the other side?
Well, I don't know. Maybe there are some space that can be creep.
Okay, there we
Yeah, there's creep can be spread to the next side, and those two coursers are trying to do some work. But we are seeing GGaemo is adding another hatchery at the natural, bringing 3 drones at the natural, adding creep colony, and they are going to be morphing into sunken colony soon.
I think GGaemo's going to be surprised that the Reaver's going to be out as fast as it was. This is an interesting play because normally when you get contained, you don't have this back third base. Like, Protoss can still take that third base. He can still be on 3 base eco versus a Zerg, which obviously has 3 bases, but they're spending a lot of minerals on the containment. But you can also kill the temples in the back and get out of your base like that. Though, oh my god, a DT sneaks to the third base and there's no Overlord, no defense. GGaemo luckily spots it and will only lose 2 drones for now.
Yeah, that was a very good reaction from GGaemo, but the single DT will be picking up the egg! Something was coming out, but it did not come out. Now he needs to get either the Overlord speed or try to somehow send that Overlord to the 9 o'clock, but that was a nice storm dodge. Reaver is out.
That was an insane reaction because he wasn't looking at that at all, and he manages to save all of the Hydras. But the first Reaver is out, and Reaver of course has more range than the Sunken, so he may be able to push this back.
Yeah, that hatchery is bleeding so hard. I want to see the HP of that hatchery, but luckily it survives, and their tag, no other building from what I'm seeing. I don't see Evolution Chamber yet from GGaemo, so he's not getting the +1.
Does he even have a lair? I think he does, right? But he's just stuck with Hydras right now. He's going to move in, and he does not get the shuttle. It still has basically full health. It lost all of its shields, and Shuttle's already pushing back the sunken line.
Yeah, the Reaver, luckily Reaver is not bugging out. If you're playing on a fighting spirit like the 5 o'clock, then you know there's like the padding thing that Reaver doesn't shoot against the photon cannon and sunken colony. But I guess this scene, it's good for him. Reavers are actually shooting.
Yeah, and what looked like was going to be a good contain, all of a sudden I'm just watching Sunkens die slowly, more Sunkens being put up, and not really any response to the Reavers. And it's not like GGaemo has massive eco. Like, this doesn't seem to be working right now. Meanwhile, also, Shuttle's building up his gateway count. I mean, he's up 30 supply. He's got upgrade advantage. He's got 3rd Nexus coming up pretty soon, I imagine.
Oh, also we have to remember is Shuttle has 3 gas at the main.
Yeah.
That means he can make lots of High Templar and maybe even spin those double forge.
High Templar, Mass Reaver, he'll be able to build out all the heavy tech units. Meanwhile, Zerg is still stuck on pretty much just Hydras. I realize he's morphing Lurkers, but Lurkers can't range the Reavers either. So this contain, so far, really has not worked out at all for GGaemo. I mean, 2 Reavers alone are pushing everything back.
I wasn't expecting if the second rebel was being placed at the main base, but I want to see Observer being made because there are a couple of lurkers are containing still and making lots of sunken colony, but GGaemo needs to cancel. Never mind, he lost that creep.
He's going to take a little bit damage to the lurkers simply because he doesn't have the observer right now. But a couple come out. He's going to try and start pushing back these lurkers. Also, we're starting to see goons be mixed in with the army too. So he's going to have stuff to actually support the Reaver. Also, comboed also with, what was that, 8 Templars? I mean, that's a ton of Storm.
Yeah, I want to see lots of Storm and somehow he breaks it.
Well, he's posturing like he might go for it. That's a really good arc, especially with the Sunkens too, but he's going to eat a full storm. He does get one of the Reavers, but he lost 10 Hydras for that, and he does not pop the second Reaver. Supplies are heavily in favor of Shuttle now. This interesting Sunken Contain just really backfiring for GGaemo. A drop, maybe?
Maybe, but from what I'm... Okay, Reaver Scarab damage is also finished, so the Reaver damage output is going to be ridiculously high. And, okay, that Sunken Colony... Oh, wow! Sunken Colony and Lurker gets picked up at the same time. Picking up the another Observer, but thing is, we know Shuttle has double robo. He will be making 2 Observer at a time.
Yeah, and he's got 1 billion gas, so he doesn't even care about losing an Observer here. He's not gas starved at all. These Lurkers, I mean, there's just no answer to this. It's a 60 supply lead now, almost doubling the supply of GGaemo. He doesn't have heavy tech behind it either. He doesn't even have good upgrades. It's +1 weapon versus, I imagine, at least +1 weapon of Protoss.
Yeah, I want to see some storm on the Lurker, but never mind. He's still not using those storms on those Lurker. But Shuttle, Reaver needs to get picked off somehow. He saves it. The second. Oh my God! All those Reaver gets picked off.
Yeah, but does it even matter? I feel like just goons can win this fight, and he is going to push out now. He's got like 20 goons. He's got 1 billion storm, and he's got Observers here. There's no answer. There's no support for the Sunkens either. There's what, like 4 Lurkers and just a handful of Hydras. And
oh my God,
Shuttle, he's gonna easily bust this.
I mean, those Sunken Colonies are doing so much damage though. I mean, he's not able to break it. I mean, the supply count is really high, but storms, he misses the storm. Okay, somehow he breaks the bottom side so he can sneak out. These Goon High Templar needs to move out. Those single Goon is pretty much blocking on the ramp, and GGaemo is trying his best to send all of his Hydralists, but we know he was playing super all-in, so I wonder if he's gonna be able to make some comeback.
I don't know about this. This is a map similar to Optimizer, so you know the influx of resources of Shuttle right now is extremely high. He also has that back third base, which can't be attacked. Oh, actually, GGaemo knocked down those temples, so he can attack that third base, actually. And we do see... Oh, I thought I saw another patch somewhere, but I guess not.
But that Reaver is doing some work.
Oh,
those, okay, now he's finally breaking the front line of those Sunken Colony.
Yeah, and now it's 100 supply to just 50. I think GGaemo knows the state he's in. He's lost his win condition there with the massive contain. He's not able to knock down the third base. I thought those temples were taken, because if you look at the map, I don't see temples on the map, but I guess it's just a feature that it doesn't appear on the mini-map right now. But regardless, third base going up for Shuttle right now, and he's in a dominant position.
Something that we learned from this game is when Protoss has 3 gas, the mass sunken contain does not work. And we see those good High Templars and also Archon moving towards to the left side of the map. He's about to attack the 9 o'clock, but 9 o'clock, those guns will be standing on the high ground, but Hydralists will be standing at the bottom side, so this is going to be high ground advantage for Shuttle. But Shuttle has 2 Reavers, throwing a couple of Scarabs, does connect on the Hydralist, but I don't know how GGaemo is going to survive here.
Yeah, it's bad enough to attack into high ground, but then to attack into high ground that has Reaver, and Goon, and Templars? Basically impossible for Zerg, so GGaemo's going to give up his third base, and giving up that third base means he loses 2 half-trees, and this is more than likely the end of GGaemo's run in ASL. He's down 70 supply, he only has 50 supply total, he has no answer to any of the units, he can't even kill the Dragoons by themselves, so unfortunately, I don't think these 4 mutas are going to save the day, and his run is going to be over, but that's going to set us up for a Shuttle Barracks rematch, and that's going to be quite interesting, because Shuttle was also talking smack about Barracks earlier.
Yeah, I guess Shuttle was very confident that he will be making out of this group, or maybe beating. Oh my god, Little needs to unload those Reaper. Okay, does survive. Does he have enough energy to throw Storm? The answer is probably no. Maybe he's just saving it. Don't know yet, but he's bringing more of High Templars. That seems very scary, I would say.
Here come Hydras from the right side. This is GGaemo's last stand. He's going to try and make it work. He eliminates the Templar. He's going to eliminate the Reavers also, but still there's a huge Goon Force left over. And there it is, GG coming out from GGaemo. Unfortunately, his ASL run is done, but we've got Shuttle versus Barracks coming up next.
Yeah, that was a very unique strategy we got to see from GGaemo with the Proxy hatchery containing against Preuss, but we learned a lesson. When Preuss has the access of mining the third gas, contain does not work anymore.
Yeah, I definitely was not expecting that at all, but it is nice to see that having a weird map like Odyssey, and we know there's another weird map in the map pool called Nemesis. I like having the new maps because now we get to see weird plays like that. You know, when Blockchain was a map, we got to see a nuke rush versus in Nada versus Larva. So I'm excited to see that even in game one, players are, or even in our first viewing of a new map, players are willing to go for weird, interesting plays. But as I stated, our last match of the day is going to be Shuttle versus Barracks. It's a rematch. We're going to be going into a break, and we'll be back with that series. final game of the day, and there we go. I can't believe it. We've got back-to-back new maps. It's going to be Nemesis. As I've stated earlier, this is similar to Blockchain in my opinion. We've got Sylphid ban from Barracks and then a Vermeer ban from Shuttle. I find that very, very surprising because I think Sylphid is actually a decent Terran versus Protoss map, and Vermeer's as standard as it gets. So somehow this map gets through, and look at it. How can you not think of Blockchain when you see this?
Well, there's just so much of a simulator that can be blocked. I mean, if you kill that assimilator, that turns into Vespene Geyser, and the Vespene Geyser, the size of the Vespene Geyser is bigger than assimilator, so that makes the units not to go through, and the staff is pretty much circling around those the map detail here and there. The center of the map, I thought it was a high ground because the tile set was different, like the darker one and then the green color one. But I tried this map before, and the center of the map, the octagon shape of the map, is not high ground. It's not low ground either. It's just completely like same level ground, I should say.
Yeah, that is true. That is also something that I noticed. But one feature of this map that is different than Blockchain is you can see the circled assimilators in the center of the map. Those assimilators can be killed. You can get into the mid bases by killing them. So it's not like Blockchain where, you know, it's completely, those mid bases are completely walled off. Like whoever takes a mid base does have to actually defend it in case an attack from the just normal ground comes in. However, one thing that is different compared to Blockchain is in your main, you are on low ground and you go up into high ground going into your natural. So it's kind of similar to Requiem, which is a very old map in that sense. But I am very surprised this got through.
Yeah, someone recently explained me about the map that there are total 3 floors of the tile set, and the main base is the first floor, the natural is the second floor, and the pathing where you go through from your natural to your third expansion, like the 12 o'clock side, there's the green tile set, is the third floor. Someone explained to me, and let's see how well the players are going to be played on this the new map on Nemesis.
Okay, in the bottom right, our orange Protoss, it is Shuttle. And in the top left, taking down Shuttle earlier, it is Barracks. And I'm excited for this map because we know Shuttle play is very, very common these days. Almost every single player goes for it. And I'm wondering just how Barracks is going to be able to defend his top middle base, if he takes it, or mid left base. But remember last game, or the last time we saw Shuttle versus Barracks on Butter, Barracks was on 2 bases for a long time. So maybe he's not even thinking about building a third base.
Yeah, this is a cross-bomb matchup. I wonder how exactly Barracks really wants to play, but from we have seen on a second game that Barracks was playing super aggressive with no starport build, +1 with the +1 armor, with a 6 factory build, worked out so well. But let's see what he will be doing this time. He has put down the supply depot at the main base, and Pylon right next to the Vespene Geyser. So Shuttle most likely going to be playing something standard, maybe. Okay, no, he's not about to put down the gateway, so okay, never mind. He changed his mind. 10 gateway.
Yep, normal opener from Shuttle. And I know Shuttle is also a big time carrier player. And since the drops ended up not working out for him on Butter last time, maybe he'll consider going into carriers this time around. I secretly think that's his best style, like his most successful style. So I'm hoping to see that if we do get into a mid or late game. Meanwhile, Barracks, he's got a very forward Barracks there. Zealot pressure would be very hard to defend. You can see we have some intricacies. There's the high ground that I was talking about at the natural. We've got some eggs there too. Also something to point out, in the center of the map, you see dots all over the place. Those are actually mineral fields, and they do have a decent amount of money too. I think they have like 200, if I remember correctly. So if we get in a scenario where everybody's completely mined out. Those minerals are impactful.
That probe luckily finds out the Barracks, the first scout, but Barracks won't be figuring out. So while he was scouting towards the 7 o'clock, he does not get to see the probe was coming. So he's probably, no, wait a minute, he's just gonna be sending that SCV towards the 5 o'clock instead. So never mind, that's very interesting. And the probe is running away to figure out what exactly is going on. And he gets to see the Zealot moving out, so that's a good news.
Yep, normal Zealot timing, and he's gonna come into the main and not see anything unusual. Oh, actually, I am a little surprised that he does end up showing range there. Of course, Barracks doesn't know if this is range or if it's like a fake weapon upgrade that's gonna be canceled, but we know that it is actually range.
And yeah, Barracks definitely knows about Zealot is coming. I wonder if he's gonna be placing down the 3rd depot.
Oh, he canceled it. Look at that.
Oh, he canceled the gun range. Okay, he's putting down 1 Zealot into 1 gun expansion, and we see Barracks has put down the 3rd depot. That must be the 3rd depot behind of the mineral line. So yeah, so that must be the 4 Marine with the Vulture follow into an expansion from Barracks, and we see Shuttle is making the gun range after the Nexus. SCB will be running away. He does get to see the Nexus, and the Cybernetics core was spinning. Okay, Barracks is making lots of supply here. 30 versus 24 here.
Yeah, and I wonder if he's continued to build Marines. I mean, he's moving out, which means to me maybe he did continue to. Oh, is this an SCV pull? He saw range. Oh, I thought it was an SCV pull, but not the case. He is just gonna put some slight pressure on with 5 Marines actually and 2 Vultures.
Oh, this
Probe
build.
scouts it though.
I might know what the build is. I mean, but the build right now that Barracks is doing is really great if Shuttle was skipping the 2nd gun, but he did not stop making the gun production from that first gateway. So now that Zealot needs to be tanking at the front line. The gun was taking lots of marine shot there, turning into a yellow HP. But now that placing down the missile pylon is going to be delaying the command center timing as much as he can. And now there's a Zealot and 2 guns. Probe needs to fight together, I would say. Picking up the Vulture. Yes, he does pick up the Vulture. The 2nd gun just now pops out, but not sure whether the probe drill is a good decision making. He does lose about 4 or 5 probes, but we know Barracks does not have the command center yet.
Yeah, initially I thought that attack wasn't going to be successful at all, but it ended up killing a decent amount of probes. However, for me, the problem now is he doesn't have mine upgrade. He has no mines. A Vulture is going to sneak into the natural, so it's going to get weird though. But 2 goons are going to be at the main base of Barracks. He needs to get mines down right now, and it looks like he is just barely going to get them down in time. That was a really good move with the probes there to knock down one of the spider mines.
Gotta be careful
Can he
now!
trigger it? Okay, well he gets one of them, and Vultures do full damage to shield, so even though this looks like the goon will win, they should, but he is going to be pushed back, and Barracks has a starport on the high ground that's gone unscouted, so he's going to follow this up with a Vulture drop.
Yeah, the starport as you mentioned now is adding the control tower. Command center is going to be completed at the natural. And I want to see whether Shuttle is going to go for the speed shuttle, the rebirth combo after they're making a couple of observer, and now guns are moving forward. But when Shuttle sees there are no siege tank being made, he may be able to smell something like a Vulture drop or Vulture run by later on.
Yeah, because Barracks already showed 2 at the natural, then he showed a 3rd one, and then he had 2 at his main, which is 5 Vultures. I mean, that's a lot. I think generally you're building maybe 3 or 4, but 5, and now he's shown speed if Shuttle was paying attention to those goons. So I think Shuttle should be able to get a whiff of this. The Vultures, I'm not sure if the goons or saw them moving onto the high ground, but if he did, he should be moving goons into his main. But that's a nice pylon positioning at the bottom side, so he will be able to see it coming and give him a little bit of time. Actually, he doesn't have that many goons.
Well,
Oh no!
The observer
What? Okay.
Does see it, but oh, he saw it. He saw it. The player box, the player camera box did move, so he knows the dropship was coming. He's pulling back all of his gun. He does need to have the SimCity right next to his gas. Okay, there's a third gun just now pops out.
Oh, but he
Four
can go
gun?
up the ramp now. He's gonna go up the ramp, and he will get some pro kill. Oh, that's a
oh
good
my
connection.
god!
He gets one of the goons, gets another mine shot onto the other goons, and he ends up taking 3, 4, maybe 5 probes down. This was a really successful drop, maybe even a 6.
Yeah, that's quite lots of damage that he has done with the 4 vulture drop. Picking up 2 guns and some probe. Very good trade. And that must be the robotic support bay. So of course, after making couple observer, he will be transitioning into the Reaver follow-up.
Now, just like on blockchain, these third bases, they're on low ground and they have high ground overlooking their minerals. So if Barracks goes for like a fantasy move with, you know, tanks in a dropship and then vultures running by, or potentially 2 dropships to help support the 2 tanks on the high ground, I think he could definitely knock down the Nexus at mid-right. But instead, he's going to go for another drop into the main. This time around, goons are already into position, but it's only 2 of them.
Okay, he's about to place some spider mine or find a weak spot, but he does find picking up 3 probe maximum. Wasn't a good trade, but now Shuttle has the 3rd expansion going to be saturated, and Barracks is about to put down the command center as well.
Yep, this time around, Barracks going into a more 3-base macro play. Command center be coming down at mid-left. He also scouted the Reaver and Shuttle timing, and it's much slower this game compared to Butter. Oh, he did not take down that last egg. The dropship still managed to survive though, so Shuttle still needs to be aware that drops could just keep coming and coming and coming. And there's actually no defense in his main right now. All of his goons are at the 3rd base and natural. We know there's no drop coming, so not really necessarily vulnerable right now, but something to consider. Supplies are dead even right now, 82 to 82. So that just tells you how good of a position and how well the harassment has been going for Barracks.
There's a one thing that I don't like about Barracks is the supply depot placement, because I mean, there's just so much of a gap that it's just taking so much of a space. If you have some like the gap between each supply depot, then you're just taking so much of a space, and you won't be able to add more factory in the late game. Okay, that's the first reverse, throwing some scare up. Connect down on the vulture, does not pick up, but the Reaver needs to run away. Does he have a gun?
I don't think he has a gun. Speed is kicked in though. Oh my god, he might actually lose the shuttle. Okay, he is definitely going to lose the shuttle, but at least he saves the Reaver, and there's the drop.
Oh my god, the drop! So both of the players has trade evenly, but of course the shuttle does not need Vespene gas to make, so I would say Barracks has lost more than he got the benefit out of the trade there.
Yeah, and I was thinking about your comment about the base layout. I remember playing Nemesis and thinking like, man, I've got a lot of space to build everywhere. But if you look at the placement here, I mean, yeah, he can build factories to the left side of those 3 facts he has on the left. But where's he going to build the factories that actually have add-ons? I don't know if he can actually build any more add-ons. So that is something to consider. Barracks is floating a lot of gas too, so he should consider putting down 3 or 4 add-ons if he can.
I'm somewhat scared of a siege tank that siege right above the spider mine. Okay, there's a science facility just now complete, so that means Shuttle will be getting the not Shuttle, Barracks will be getting the +2 attack with the +1 armor momentarily. But we are seeing double robo follow up from Shuttle. But does Barracks know about this double robo? I haven't seen the comms station yet.
Yeah, I don't think he has comsat in his mat, at least, maybe in his main, but we are getting that mass robo style, mass shuttle play that I was thinking we might see on a map like Nemesis. You can see the D-web in the center. I don't think that will come into play really. We do have a drop to top right, and it does get pushed back by 2 goons.
Adding some photon cannon each location because he's definitely aware of the dropship. Double armory being spinning. Double armories are spinning.
Oh. That is a lot of shuttles. And he's going to try and make something happen here. And here we go. This is going to be a ton of vultures comboed with just a single tank. The problem though is Shuttle has 4 shuttles. So this attack is definitely not going to do much. But instead, he's going to branch off 3 to mid-left, and there we go. Barracks definitely didn't under-defend mid-left. He's got a bunker, he's got a wraith, and he's got 2 tanks and vultures. So I don't think this is going to be a successful drop to mid-left, but maybe Shuttle can make something happen here.
The Observer now comes. He wants to save that 1 o'clock expansion, but at the same time, there are 4 shuttles about to go in. He's going to be unloading the Zealot. Does he have Reaver? Yes, he does. He does have Reaver. Nice connection on the SCV.
Yeah, that's a
Nice
pretty
one.
darn good drop, and he gets a lot of the SCVs too. The bunker did a lot of work, but I mean, there was 4 shuttles here, so really, oh my god, that one shuttle, or one Scarab shot, I mean, killed almost every single vulture, and he's going to shut down this base for quite a while.
Wait, my question is, where's the raid?
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
happened to it?
Yeah, he had the raid, but I don't see him picking up the shuttle here.
I don't see it either, and there was definitely no Dragoon in that army, so I don't know exactly what happened to the raid, but yeah, it is gone, and that allows the Reavers to escape with their lives, and that's a big win for Shuttle there. The Reaver's obviously super expensive. 4 base for Protoss with big gateway flood coming in too, so Shuttle's now in a really good position.
Okay, there's a raid.
There's a raid.
Okay, that wasn't a good trade for Shuttle, but I mean, look at the supply count for Barracks. Now he somehow catches up the supply count 140. 150 versus 140 for Shuttle. I guess that 4 shuttle drop that Shuttle did was just too much, I would say. I mean, where are his army count?
Yeah, I was not expecting to see supply in favor of Barracks, so Shuttle maybe not in as good a position as I thought, and I think Terran's about to have 2-2 also. So this is going to be a really tough army to stop. I mean, he's got a good tank count. He's got, I think, 9 factories. He's got Goliath mixed in now, so shuttles are definitely going to be much easier to deal with compared to the butter game. And Barracks is on the move, and I actually don't know if Shuttle can stop this, because 160 versus 160, Terran generally wins fights like that.
Yeah, now he's scanning around to figure out whether he can actually sneak out the vulture. But the thing we have to know about the map is the center of the map is just like Circuit Breaker. Vultures can just walk out and it can be just everywhere. And now those vultures will be putting some spider mines at the 1 o'clock site, but there are a decent amount of photon cans to defend.
Yeah, this is like 10 vultures. This doesn't seem like a worthwhile trade for Barracks. He does lay a lot of mines, though, and if he can kill some goons, then it will be worthwhile. Now he's starting to kill some of the probes, and this does free up some supply for him to build some more tanks. But like I said before, I mean, he doesn't have that many add-ons, so I don't know how many... Okay, that's a lot of tanks, actually, surprisingly. But we do have maxed out army for Protoss versus 170 for Terran. However, Terran should have 2-2 now.
Gotta be careful because there's a D-web at the center of the map. If you have your Siege tank at the D-web, then that's not gonna be a good one. But there are lots of Siege tanks being sieged. Vultures are placing some of the Spider-Mans at the top side, and the Zealots getting melted. Shuttles are... Oh my, that's not a good trade. No, Storm? No Storm.
He doesn't have Storm. He had 120 energy and didn't cast a single Storm. Okay, maybe he just misclicked the Templar, but Barracks, he's pushing through the center, and like I said before, he's absolutely one of the fastest pushers that I've seen from the Terran side. He's losing a lot of tanks to these Storms, but his supplies are still even with Protoss. He's still got 10 tanks left over, and all that's left for Protoss are goons.
Yeah, Shuttle has about 2,000 mineral, but he needs to spend. He hasn't spent those mineral yet. I mean, he has been busy microing too much, and now you can see how fast Barracks is pushing towards and unsieging all of his Siege tank and pushing forward. But does he have goons? I don't think so.
Oh my god, the observers see that there's a mine on top of those tanks. If he could shuttle bomb it, he could kill a ton of tanks. Not able to shuttle bomb it, and that's a really good split to save the tanks. Like you said, there's no goons here, it's just pure zealots. So they're going into the meat grinder, getting eaten up by vultures and tanks. Now it's a funnel. Luckily, Shuttle still has an additional storm, but we've got supplies in favor of Barracks, and just like yesterday, seeing Best reinforced over and over and over instantly, Barracks is doing the same thing.
The pylon wall needs to survive. Okay, there's a DT being unloaded, and Zealot's dropping top of the siege tank as well. Can he be able to hold?
A single DT is racking up so much damage. He's picked off so many tanks by himself. It's now down to 2 tanks, just 1 tank. But there's still so much Terran. It's 160 supply to 122.
And +2 armor just now kicks in. And I want to see Protoss upgrade. Last time I saw Protoss upgrade was a +1 attack weapon only. But now Shuttle should be feeling very uncomfortable here because those siege tank contain is just like the 1 hour ago game on Butter. Siege tank contain, bringing the SCV. And I guess this is the strongest part of Barracks. I mean, he really loves to put down the missile turret instead of making the riot and picking up those shuttle.
Yeah, well, it allows him to just reinforce instantly with so many vultures. And I mean, this is definitely the trademark of Barracks play. When he gets aggressive and when he defends an attack, there's no breathing room. He will be instantly in your face, and you're seeing it right here. Good Reaver shot right there to knock down a tank, but it's still in favor for Terran right now. And Terran now has high ground advantage. He's overlooking the production.
Uh-oh. Those vultures are going to be on the high ground over there, but the Wraith, okay, we'll be targeting on the shuttle, but the missile turret is also doing the work. Scarab does connect on the vulture, but those Zala cannot be connected to those siege tank and vultures, so a lot of army getting melted, and the supply count is still high for Barracks.
Yeah, but Barracks is about to mine out his main and natural, and I don't see another command center anywhere. Meanwhile, Protoss still has mid right, still has top right. Supplies are now, still 160 to 120. Okay, it looks like Shuttle's actually given up because he took his hand off the keyboard for a second. I guess he's decided that he can't get out. This is maybe his last stand. Zealot's trying to trigger some mines. Oh, he can't believe it. He can't believe it.
Well, I guess he did improve on the Terran versus Protoss matchup. I mean, during the pre-interview, he said he prepared a lot for the Terran versus Zerg matchup, but I guess he did prepare more of a Terran versus Protoss matchup, and now Barracks will be winning. Shuttle taps out. Barracks seems very happy of winning the game.
That was really impressive from Barracks because Shuttle, I think Protoss versus Terran is easily his best matchup. I mean, he is definitely no slouch in PvT, so for Barracks to take down Shuttle, all of a sudden, Barracks is going into the round of 16 looking like he's in top form, and that's going to be a big confidence booster for him. I'm looking to see his insights in the interview on how he won this game, because Shuttle was talking like he was going to easily take down Barracks, and that's just not the case. I mean, this particular game, Barracks really turned it up, and he brought it to Shuttle.
Yeah, looks like Barracks seems like he's ready to go for the interview here, and there are a couple of audience that are still there. And yeah, Barracks, congratulations. I'm glad that he made it out of this group because he eliminated me in ASL qualifier the final stage. Okay, so that was the ASL Season 14 Round of 24 Group B. The second player who will be advancing into Round of 16, that will be Barracks. Congratulations. After the final match is over, you seem very happy. You seem very happy with the expression there, what the cameraman showed us.
시즌마다 좀 진짜 안 좋은 경기력 많이 보여드렸는데.
So Barracks was kind of somewhat having some pressure because he always gets knocked out in round of 24 in the previous season.
게 좀 그래도 조금 보여드린 것 같아서 다행이고.
He's somewhat glad that he survived and he made it out of this group. He was able to show his skill.
김윤중 선수의 경기에서는 이 3탱크 타이밍에 좀 거세게 흔드는 듯한 모습이 있었는데 김윤중 선수가
On the first game against Shuttle on the butter, you showed us the 3-tank pressure against
끝냈어야 되는데
Shuttle,
제가 또
but
긴장해가지고
somehow it did not work out so
실수를
well.
했어요. 그래가지고
And
아 망했다. 또,
what happened there?
또
Barracks is saying that
망했구나 했는데
he was supposed to be ending the game there, but he thought that he was going to be winning the game easily, so he was moving forward too much that he committed too much that he lost all those marine and assist thing, and that just turned around into a late game.
풀려나가지 않았던 것 같지만 뒷심을 강력하게 발휘해주는 모습이 굉장히 인상적이었습니다. 이런 단단한 메카닉 운영, 김윤중 선수의 두 번째
So you showed us the solid,
어떤 전투가 좀 가장
solid mech
승리를
play
생각하세요?
from game number
컨셉이
or
그
game number
이제
5 on the final
포스도
match
이제
against
그
Shuttle on
같은
the
거 막기가 굉장히
Nemesis.
힘든 맵이라고 생각을 했어요.
and
그래픽식으로 좀 힘들고
what made you
9시
play
이제
the late
멀티에
game
이제
here
벙커를 일부러
compared to
지어놓고
the
이제
first
한번
game on the
바퀴를
butter?
기다렸어요.
They were just
그래서
totally two different play
바로
styles.
나간다는 마인드로
And Barracks is
2로 몰래
saying
타이밍을 준비를 해가지고 적절하게 잘 싸워.
the map Nemesis
잘된것 같아요.
네,
for Protoss as well.
경력으로 승리를
Protoss
거두고
also needs to be
끝내는
definitely
모습이
aware of the
있었는데,
dropship play as well
얘기를
and have to
들어보니까
split those
네메시스를
gun
좀 좋아하셨다고
here and
이렇게
there.
들었거든요.
And
네, 그러니까
because of that, he
원래
wanted to
진짜
use that as an
빡세다고
advantage. He wanted to
생각했는데
take the third
저는
expansion and go for heavy
승률이 좀
2-1
많이
upgrade,
좋았어요. 그래서
and just things are worked out well.
잘 맞는 맵인 것 같아가지고
오.
그래서
So Barracks is
괜찮더라고요,
saying
생각보다. 그래서
while he was preparing for this ASL Season
황병현
14
선수가
round
오늘
of
본인의
24,
스타일을 또 한 번 좀 보여주는 그런 경기들이
all those practice games
나왔습니다.
that he did, like
이번
trying
시즌에는
out those new
24강에서
map
좀
and
탈락을
here
하고 이번
the other
시즌에는
maps
다시 한번
as well,
16강에 복귀를
Nemesis
하셨는데
worked out.
앞으로의
Nemesis
각오가
just kind of
어떠신가요?
fit to his playstyle.
일단 근데
So
연습 도와준 사람들이 진짜 많아요.
he's glad that
네,
the result came out really well.
다
한 분 한 분
So
말씀해주세요.
Barracks is saying that he wants to say thanks to his practice partner,
현재랑 윤철이랑
Mini,
덕이,
Snow,
선재,
Ruin,
그리고
Motive,
성대, 애운이
Action, Soxery.
정도 도와줬던 것 같은데 그리고 제가 ASL 하기 전에 좀 컨디션 아니 좀 폼이 안 좋아서 재호 형이 진짜 많이 도와줬거든요.
Before he gets to play the ASL game, Light
짜는데 이제
helped Barracks a
결정적인
lot.
사람이 한 명 있었는데 이제 영호가 진짜 빌드 다 짜주고 자기 일처럼 열심히 도와줬고
And he also contact Flash for help, and Flash helped Barracks a lot.
잘 도와줘가지고
Flash gave Barracks all the strategy, and
이렇게
he's
진심을
kinda
다해
glad that
도와준
things just worked out so well,
동료들만큼이나
and
또 팬분들도 이번 시즌 황병현 선수가 굉장히
he's very
높은
happy
곳에
that he made it into round of
올라가기를
16.
기원하고 계실 것
And he wants to say
같습니다.
thanks to
그럼
those
기원을
practice
갖고
partner
계신 팬분들께도
and
인사 전해주시죠.
supporter like Flash and Light.
진짜 아까 인터뷰 때 얘기했던 것처럼 제가 폼이 제일 좋다고 생각을 해요. 제가 지금까지 했던 것
So
중에
Barracks is saying that
더 열심히 준비해서
he is saying
좋은 경기를 좀 보여드리고 싶어요.
the current form of his play style or play is much better than the preseason, so he thinks he will be climbing up higher this time. And thank you for the interview. Congratulations, Barracks.
진출자 황병영
And that was the second player who just advanced into round of 16. Congratulations to Barracks.
Yep, thank you for the translation. We get a rundown of today. Hero taking down GGaemo, Barracks taking down Shuttle, then Hero beating Barracks, allowing Hero to move on, Shuttle beating GGaemo, and then Barracks beating Shuttle again. Bit surprising there because, like I said, I think Shuttle's very, very strong in PvT. And as I stated earlier, Group C, this is a really stacked group. Zero or Queen, very, very strong, obviously. Then we got Miso, who in my opinion is strong versus Protoss, but no Protoss in this group. And then we've got Sharp versus Royal in the bottom side. Royal, I think, might be my favorite Terran right now, but Sharp is just so good at TvT. It's going to be very hard for Royal to get out of this group, especially since Queen is also in it.
But the thing that I always remember of how Royal was always playing on a best of 1 series, I mean, he always advanced into round of 16 in a first player out of getting out of the group in the first player all the time. So Royal, I'm gonna be having expectation like Royal will be advancing into the round of 16 as the first player there, and probably the second one would be either Queen or Sharp. But I wonder how well Queen is performing recent game.
Yeah, I know Queen was, in top form like 2 years ago, but it seems like he's not in as tip-top shape as he was in the past, but still definitely a stacked group. And I liked hearing the interview with Barracks. It was interesting to hear all the things you're talking about, getting the build order for Flash, getting the help from Light. And I liked his comment about Nemesis, how he had good success there. I was thinking about how Barracks play and how fast he reinforces. If he can reinforce after a fight in the center of the map and like instantly counterattack, think about the angle Protoss comes in. Protoss is kind of caught up in a hallway. There's no flankable way to attack Terran. Seems like that's a really good map for Barracks, so looking forward to see him play on that map in the future.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be excited to see the Group C matchup because there's lots of TVZ game, and TVZ game is always intense. Like there's no time to breathe, and there's always consistently fighting in the middle of the map. And it looks like the caster park is done wrapping it up.
Yep, we are done today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As we stated just a moment ago, tomorrow Group C, Zero, Miso, Sharp, and Royal. That's going to be a fantastic group. Me and Scan will be there, obviously, and we hope to see you too. So take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.